Welcome to the Panic Button, everyone. I'm Nina. And today, as always, we're going to be covering some trans news because there's a few things that are in the news right now that I wanted to touch on because the men coming into our bathroom thing, it just keeps happening and it needs to stop because you're allowing loopholes for creeps. And we cannot allow that. Not at all. So I want to go over a story with you today that I found to be quite concerning, and it's this. Georgia police officer under investigation after confronting and misgendering, accurately knowing the sex of the person, a man pretending to be a woman using the woman's bathroom at a public library. There are women and little girls in there, and I have to protect them. The officer is a hero. So let's see who the trans in question is, and you let me know if you want him in the women's bathroom, locker room, private spaces where little girls and women go.
The restroom, the women's restroom, like I have been for months, if not years, never had any issues.
Sarah Swinson is a regular at the Tucker Reed Kofer Library. She says after she used the ladies' room on October 20th, a DeKalb police officer
doesn't seem like he works there. Why is he a regular at the library? I wonder if you can guess why.
on hand for early voting confronted her.
He says, "Excuse me, sir," so misgendering me right away. "You're not a woman. That's obvious."
Swinson says she tried explaining to the officer that she's a transgender woman, but he got angry.
"This is a police matter. There are women and little girls in there, and I have to protect them."
She says it ended up causing a scene in the middle of the library, and she tried to de-escalate.
Finally, I just nodded, and he walked off, and I was very thankful.
The next day, she emailed library staff, who she says reached out to DeKalb County Police.
The library filed the complaint on my behalf.
There aren't...
Dude, the fact that these people are calling him she just makes me laugh so hard. The dude is Andre the Giant, man. He looks like Andre the Giant. Look, it's a compelling case. This guy looks just like him. He might be shorter, but, the resemblance is uncanny. Would you want him following your little girl into the bathroom? Absolutely not. A lot of these people who are like, "Oh, I totally would like him in our bathroom," they have no idea what they're actually saying because you don't know this person. You think that just because a guy says he's trans, that he's automatically not an evil person or he's not a bad person. Well, I'm here to tell you that you're going to be completely wrong if you think that, because there's evidence to prove that not all men who say they're trans are good people. And maybe we need some locks on our doors, barriers to entrance, or, in which case I'm totally for, is a security guard. So creeps like this don't enter our spaces. Because, little girls are very vulnerable, especially when it comes to these creeps. And they will take advantage of loopholes that progressives have pushed for and allowed to happen in order to do very vile and heinous things that we should not allow. But it seems like the progressives are more of the side of PDF files and predators than anything else, because they're unwilling to see past the woman face in order to see the person for who they are.
There aren't any Georgia laws banning transgender people from using bathrooms aligning with their gender identity. DeKalb PD says its internal affairs unit is actively investigating the incident, but offering few details. A spokesperson said the department, quote, remains dedicated to treating all members of our community with dignity, respect, and professionalism.
Even the criminals? Like even the dude who just killed his wife? R-worded a child? Should we be treating them with respect? Maybe we should be treating the victims with respect and the criminals like criminals. I think that's more helpful. The police shouldn't be in the job of making sure that everyone feels equal and respect. That shouldn't be their job. Their job should be to enforce the law. If they see something that doesn't look right, they stop it before something bad happens. That's what the police should be doing. not treating it like these aren't like community members of society who need to be treating people with respect. No, they should be enforcing the law. Bad stuff happens, they stop it, they take people to jail. It should be that simple. But have y'all ever noticed that you don't see this with trans men entering men's bathrooms, but you see it with trans women, men who identify as women. You see it a lot with them. Why? Because all women are bigots? You think that's it? Or do you think that maybe women are uncomfortable with these weirdos going into our spaces? Because a lot of women have been sexually assaulted. Well, and a lot of women have that siren going on in their head saying, danger, danger. Maybe? You think? I mean, it's one or the other. All women are bigots. Or maybe these men are just creeps trying to enter our spaces so they could be creeps and do evil things, which I'm assuming, looking at this dude, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that, not the best of intentions, right? So if you'd like to blame another progressive for their progressive policies and not sticking to enforcing the law, you can blame Lorraine Cochran Johnson, the CEO of DeKalb County, Georgia, in response to an officer telling a man pretending to be a woman that he shouldn't use the women's bathroom. She suggested that they may now update training for city employees to reflect better inclusivity. Yes, because nothing says enforcing the law better than inclusivity. Because we don't want our cops stopping crime. We want our cops to be more inclusive and to push more inclusivity in the cities that they were sworn to protect. It's great. I think it's fantastic. Yes. I think we need more women like this so we can let the cities burn in hell and allow the criminals to take over. I mean, nothing says inclusivity like including creeps, predators, PDF files, robbers, R-wordists. I could go on. That's real inclusivity, according to Lorraine. So we're going to find out what this guy's real name is because we're not calling him Sarah. Because I could just, like, when I first saw the story, my initial reaction was, nope, creep, like predator. Women have, and most progressive women, they ignore it to their own detriment, but most women have a sixth sense. Now, I know, like, scientists say that there are multiple senses, but just to be generic here for a second, I'm going to say that women have a sixth sense, and that's a danger, something's off sense. And I recommend highly to women to always listen to that little voice in your head that says, maybe you shouldn't enter that elevator with that dude who's giving you the creeps. Maybe you should run faster to your dorm room when you feel someone's walking behind you. And, I mean, he's far enough away, but he's still there, and he's still following you. Maybe we should, you might look goofy, but, maybe you should just run. We need to run to our dorm room because this guy's kind of weirding me out. That's that little voice is that sixth sense. That's generations of trauma and experience. That's like a generational experience, or like a trauma experience. I don't know the best way to say it, where women have survived a long time by protecting themselves, getting themselves out of dangerous situations, because when you don't have men around to protect you, you only have a few things on your side to protect you. And one of those is that little voice in your head. And so the women that have survived have listened to that voice, amongst other reasons why they survive, but just to be more specific here, they listen to that little voice in their head. And those women are the ones who survived. And that has been passed on in generations to their daughters, to their daughters, to their daughters. And so I don't know if it's in their DNA or not. Maybe it is. But we have that voice for a reason. And ignoring it will one day be a horrifically bad thing for you, because women live longer than men, and women can go a long time without having anything bad happening to them, and then one day something bad happens and you're traumatized, and you learn from that. Like, hopefully most women learn from that and they're like, I'm never doing that again. I had that voice in my head and I didn't listen to it, and something horrible happened. Now I'm traumatized for the rest of my life. I can't do that again, and I need to spread the word about this so other women don't have to go through it. Because it's not bigotry and it's not transphobia to want to protect yourself, to feel like something's off. If you feel like something's off, it's not transphobic to be like, you know what? I don't care what you look like or what you say your name is. You're making me feel weird. You're creeping me out. I need to remove myself from this space and this situation in order to save myself, because on the off chance that something bad happens, I just want to make sure that I'm safe, that I get out of here. And the trans community would like you to believe that little voice in your head is just bigotry, but it's not. It's generations of experience telling you to get your ass out of there because something bad is going to happen, because a generation of women before you have gone through something similar and have protected themselves using that same sixth sense. So, for the big reveal, let's go into this guy and his history and stuff, right? So this is the guy right here, as you can see. His hair has gotten better, but he's still the creep. Now, can you see here a trans woman? No, what you see here is a weird cross-dresser, like, giving you the creeps. Like, he's looking at you like he's a little girl or a child. Very disturbing, right? If you take the whole, like, oh, don't be a transphobe, take that out of your brain. You just immediately look at this image and you think, what? No, weird, creep vibes, skedaddle, get out. Power zoom right to the moon. No, out of my face. I don't want to be in the same room as this dude. I certainly don't want little girls or little boys, kids being anywhere in the room with this guy. Like, immediate creep vibes, right? Cross-dresser, weird, just no. Now, not all cross-dressers are bad people. I ain't saying that. I'm saying that this cross-dresser is coming across like Buffalo Bill. Like, he's gonna harm someone, and he's trying to make himself look like he is not a threat, but he's overcompensating. I don't know if guys have something similar to the sixth sense that women do, but I think they do to a sense. But when I immediately see this, I just get the get out, the I'm out feeling, like escape, danger, Will Robinson. That's how I feel about this guy. Which is automatically the feeling I get when I see this. No, bad. Now, the information I found out on him was not surprising. And the feeling I got when I saw this news story at first, when I saw this guy, it was completely accurate. Because, I'm going to tell you, the trans-identified male behind an investigation into a police officer who opposed his presence in the women's restroom at a local library appears to have been regularly reading to children at the same library, based on Facebook posts and his YouTube channel, which focuses solely on videos of him reading children's books. Are we surprised? No. William Swinson has a long history of seeking out jobs that allow him to work with children. Danger, danger? Yeah, in your head? You heard it, right? Yeah, don't ignore it. He has worked at the Children's Museum of Atlanta, has been an assistant teacher, of course. I mean, you gotta fish where the fish are, right? And has worked part-time at the Open Arms Lutheran, Jesus Christ, Child Development Center. On his Pinterest account, he has collected images of young boys in feminine clothing. And on Facebook, he has made multiple posts about children, including sharing a video of how to massage an infant. Fucking A. Okay, I'm a licensed massage therapist. He's not. There is a specific way to massage infants. And I can guarantee you, without even having to see it, that whatever he's trying to sell ain't it. Okay? It ain't it. It's creep. It's predator. It's he should be in a wood chipper feet first on slow mode. Ugh, this is the guy. This is Andre the Giant. This is the guy. Guys like this will use the loophole that progressives gave them. You can say you're a woman and you can look less threatening. A lot of people will be afraid to challenge you so you can get away with things. You could do certain things. You know who else people were afraid of challenging? Priests. This guy, he is very similar. found the loophole, took advantage of it, used it. So he goes where the kids are, goes to the libraries, pretends to be a woman, reads books to them, right? Drag queen story hour. Seeks out jobs where he's working with children, because my assumption is he's a PDF file who has abused children in the past. This is my assumption. My assumption is this guy has done very horrific things to children. I'm not saying he has. I'm saying that that's what I think. And I knew that before I even found out this information. See, I think that if you want to be a mother, you have to make sure that those instincts are very honed. Because your children will often be prey to men like this. And if you want your child to survive, or if you want your child to not have to go through horrific experiences like this guy's putting other children through, I think, you need to hone that sixth sense like a motherfucker. Because predators like this will take advantage of children that have mothers that they see as very accepting and progressive. They'll specifically target those women's children, especially if they don't have fathers. And if they do have fathers, that father seems a little left-wing, child's still in play. So he's worked with children before at he's worked at the Children's Museum of Atlanta. My assumption is, and I'm going to take a big old guess here, not stating it is true, but a bit throwing out a guess, that this guy has harmed children before. He's still doing it and will continue to do it until he's stopped. Because when predators have finally been caught, they've usually had, from what I've read, and I'll lowball it here, at least 6 victims before they were caught. Now, from what I read, it was 10 to 15, but I'm lowballing it here and saying 6. So the lady, let me get to her. This lady right here, she's one of the women who is throwing your child to this guy. See, because inclusivity can't just be inclusive to all. You have to have limits on your inclusivity, because if you're too inclusive, you let everyone in. And when everyone comes in, you don't have a security alarm that goes off when there's a bad person entering. Because when you let everyone in, you're letting in the bad people too. Inclusivity is not a strength all the time. Actually, it could be the very thing that takes you down and harms innocent people in the process. Inclusivity means not just including actual transsexuals, but it also means including actual horrific criminals. That's inclusion to its fullest degree. That's the kind of inclusion this lady wants. So we need to do a better job at weeding out the weirdos and the people that look suspicious. We need to weed them out in the field of teachers. Like in the group of teachers that we allow to be around children, we need to weed out the bad ones. But I'm telling you, teachers today are like the priests of yesteryear. And predators, they're smart. They're smart enough to know that if you're a teacher, you can get away with certain things, especially if you're in blue states, blue cities, more progressive areas, more progressive schools. You can get away with a lot. They know exactly who to target based on the people that are around. They know what jobs to go for and where to find those jobs based on the people that are around. Like if you think you're progressive and you want these guys in the women's restroom, you are partially to blame for anything bad that happens to those children. If you're a school administrator, you're like, yeah, just let this guy teach children. And you don't do any background checks. You don't do any follow-up review. We need to really do a better job of weeding out the creeps when it comes to teachers, because the predators do fish where the fish are. Where do you think a predator who wants to abuse a child is going to work? You think they're going to work as a garbage man? Or you think they're going to try to work as a teacher or in a library or a daycare? Because I'm willing to bet they're going to work at the places where the kids are. And if we don't do a better job as a society, as a country, at weeding out the bad guys for being around our kids. If we don't do that, we're going to have it's going to be like another abuse scandal, child abuse scandal that happens. Like in the Catholic Church situation where all these children who were adults now came out saying, hey, these priests were abusing us. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to happen again. And nobody's going to be held accountable, of course, once again. Because deep down it sounds like and it seems like nobody really cares. So we need to do a better job. I mean, the country does a pretty decent job at protecting money, but they don't really do a good job at protecting children. The children are our future? Nah. The children are the victims of the people that you're so inclusive of. Not a good look. Not a very good look at all. Because it's going to come down on someone's head. Who do you think that's going to be? And it will be years from now. But it sucks to be the person, or one of the people, that sees the abuse and sees this stuff going on and being overlooked. And there's really nothing more you can do about it aside from just keep talking about it. Be loud, loud, and loud, and loud, and loud as you can amidst YouTube video suppression, all that stuff. Because, the ad companies, the ad companies don't want to promote material that is talking about how to protect children from being abused. They don't want to advertise on channels that have more, not spicy content, controversial content, I would say. I mean, it would be very easy for me to make a decent amount of money by faking it and talking about other things and discussing how to be more inclusive and yay, Dylan Mulvaney, and trans, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm a lesbian and I'm part of the community and we need to shut down TERFs and yada, 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 and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it'd be really easy for me to make money that way. But I guess I'm a dumbass because I'm willing to be broke as fuck and talk about this stuff. Oh, well. I guess you have to be a certain type of person to kind of sell your soul in a way. And I know a lot of content creators half sell their soul. I don't know exactly how to do that. And I wonder how they do it. Maybe there's only half a conscience there with those people. Do they have a conscience at all? I wonder. But anyway, I got off topic and I want to stay on course here. So, worked part-time at an Open Arms Lutheran Child Development Center. That's scary. Because these children are the ones that need the most help. What they're getting is the most abuse, it seems. I'm sure he's not the only one who's a creepo who has worked at these places and volunteered. But on Pinterest, his account, he's collected images of young boys in feminine clothing. On Facebook, he's made multiple posts about children, including sharing a video of how to massage an infant. Why this hasn't been taken down, I don't know. His Pinterest account hasn't been taken down. His YouTube channel hasn't been taken down. Our channel gets hit all the time, and I bet this evil piece of shit hasn't even gotten a strike on any of his social medias. Hasn't been called out. If any person is telling you how to massage an infant, and they're not a licensed massage therapist, you know what they are. You know what they are. I have proof of going to massage school, of taking my boards, getting my license, proof of the places I've worked, the clients that I've had. This guy, not a thing. This guy, he's just a creep. And a lot of people buy into this. Don't listen to this guy massaging an infant. No. No. Infants are different than massaging adults, massaging teenagers. There's different ways to do it because of how they're developed. And there's contraindicated points that you don't want to mess with because they're still developing. They're very delicate beings. You don't want to mess with that just by listening to some dude on Pinterest telling you how to massage an infant. You don't want to do that because you can actually end up really harming a child. You don't want to do that. Don't listen to that. Just don't. Just fucking don't. Oh, it really pisses me off, man. So, where do we end this here? I'm going to end this with a slight Bill Maher type monologue at the end of this video. Hope you don't mind, but it kind of helps me wrap up the whole video. So just bear with me here. This is my monologue. You ready? If If you don't like it, put it in the comments below. So apparently a cop stops a grown man in a dress from following a woman into a restroom, and he's the one who gets in trouble. We've officially criminalized common sense. So let's get this straight. The cop didn't tackle anyone, didn't scream slurs, didn't do anything insane. He just said, hey man, that's the ladies' room, which last time I checked was called policing. But apparently that's hate speech now. See, we live in a world where protecting women is controversial, and pretending not to notice a dude in heels following them into the bathroom is progress. Departments don't back their own anymore. They just throw the employee under the bus before the hashtag drops. Sorry, folks, our officer accidentally had a spine. Won't happen again. Here's the thing. Predators love this new rule book. Because when everyone's too scared to question anything, it's open season for creeps and cosplay. And no, this isn't actually about trans people. Actual trans people aren't out here chasing little girls into bathrooms. This is about letting anyone with a fetish and a wig claim immunity under the holy umbrella of identity. The cop wasn't being hateful. He was being human. Gut instinct is now phobic, which is convenient if you're a pervert who relies on everyone else ignoring red flags. And imagine if the situation was flipped. A female cop stops a shady guy near a playground. She's a hero. But move the scene to a bathroom and suddenly she's a bigot. We didn't evolve. We just got stupid with better lighting. So yeah, cop punished, creep protected, and women told to clap for inclusion. If this is progress, then it's progress in reverse. Like and subscribe, everyone. Join our memberships to keep this channel going. Comment below if you have any interesting insights into this, if you've heard any news updates on this, or if you have any stories of your own. I would be very interested in listening to it. So have a good day. Enjoy your coffee if it's the morning for you. If it's the afternoon, enjoy your lunch. Enjoy life. Adios.